One of the greatest challenges that I've noticed within relationships is finding and maintaining healthy individuation. Individuation is defined by the ability to separate oneself from the other person while maintaining a sense of connection within the relationship. You see, individuation is extremely important because without it, we tend to begin to fall into what we call codependency or an enmeshment within the relationship, where one begins to lose their sense of self within the other person's reality or experience. All of a sudden, for me to be okay, you need to be okay. For me to feel happy, you need to be happy. For me to feel safe, wanted, desirable, you need to reflect that to me. And what this can do is it removes our individual agency. It removes our ability to shape our world for ourselves. If I need to feel a sense of connection, I know that I have my partner to go to, but I also know that I have my sibling, I have my friends, I have my family, I have my community. If I need to feel safe, I have my partner, I also have myself, I have the home that I can create, the spaces that I can go to. You see, I'm no longer dependent upon the other person to create what I'm needing, but it doesn't disconnect me from them. I understand that their actions and their behavior and what they're needing and going through also affects me, and that's okay too. I'm just not dependent upon or needing to control what that is in order to make sure that I have what I need. I hope that makes sense. See, sometimes what can end up happening is that we fall into codependency and now we look to self soothe or meet our needs through meeting the other person's needs, which many times is a kind of a backwards passive means of control. Or sometimes what ends up happening is that we begin to disconnect, push away, reject, beginning to feel the need to remove ourselves from the relationship in order to find what we're needing within ourselves. This is also an indication of a lack of healthy individuation. The reality is, or at least what I believe, is that all of us are inherently connected to one another. We have a certain interdependence amongst ourselves and the rest of humanity, and the rest of the world, life, nature itself. And I am the director of my ship. I'm the one who understands what I'm experiencing and needing. And it's actually in embracing my needs and caring for myself that I am able to best engage with and maintain harmony with those relationships, life, and the world around me. As we're moving through relationships, one of the greatest challenges is how do we begin to continue to move in a manner where we can be flexible, or what they might refer to as have elasticity in our ability to change and evolve over time so we can maintain that healthy individuation as times change. The reality is, circumstances don't stay linear and the same always, right? You meet somebody and you're living in a different home, right? And so you get to date, get to call, but they live there and you live there. And then it might progress into a closer level of relationship. Now you're spending more time over each other's space. You're spending the night. You're beginning to find yourself in far closer proximity that leads to being more impacted by their life, their decisions, their needs, their experiences, their wants, etc. Then some people progress to, let's say, marriage or moving in. And now daily you're being impacted. All these different iterations of relationship context changes the experience, and it also should change how you engage with yourself, the space that you take in order to maintain your balance, your needs, while not disconnecting from the relationship, but actually acknowledging the relationship with yourself first as primary. One of the things that I often kind of espouse in a bit of a saying is that we're all in a polyamorous relationship. Polyamory being having multiple partners, having multiple intimate connected partners. It could be emotional, it could be relational, it could be sexual, it could be other things. But it's to say that we're all engaged in this kind of polyamorous dynamic because our first relationship, first and foremost, should always be with ourselves. And it's a real relationship. It's not a partial relationship. It's not a passive, oh, of course. Because if you don't put the time, the effort, the energy, the love, the care, the communication, you can erode that relationship with you. You can create a very unhealthy relationship with you where there's a lack of trust, where there's a disconnect, where there's an inability to perceive your needs and support yourself. And as a result, we can have breakups. We can have breakups where I no longer engage with me. I no longer trust me. I begin to form, and this might be another conversation, a different idea of me altogether. I stop asking myself what feels genuinely good for me, what feels purposeful, what feels fulfilling. And I begin to operate in a construct of an idea of what I think my life is supposed to look like. These things are very common in relationships. And sometimes we even meet people in the framework of that imaginary life that we think that we are or that we think we're supposed to have. And this can all come crashing down many times once that image of ourselves gets fractured or the image of the other person gets fractured. If I'm honest with you, many times when I work with couples, this is a point in which every relationship gets to, every marriage gets to, every long term partnership gets to. A place in which the idea of the other person and ourselves no longer aligns with the reality, to a point where both individuals have to step back and reassess. They're being forced to evolve. They're being forced to move into deeper relationship with themselves and show up in a vulnerable honesty with each other and say, this is who I am today. These are my needs. These are my desires. And being able to hold space for the other person's. Now, of course, in the midst of this, the catalyst in making this shift and change is usually conflict, is usually stress, is usually disappointment, frustration. But if we're not judging this experience, if we can move into it with understanding and embrace it, we recognize that it is only a progression of our own individual journey of deepening our relationship with ourselves. And so finding healthy individuation within the relationship looks like, first and foremost, maintaining that relationship with me and what I'm learning about myself, what I'm recognizing about my experience, and how I own my needs, how I own my desires for my life, and then show up within that genuine connection to others, communicating authentically, modeling, being who I am today in my true self. I hope this helps. Finding individuation is not a concrete thing that you're going to put a period on, a stamp on, and be like, I got it, I'm good. It's going to continue to change. If you get married one day, if you have children one day, your proximity, the demands, the needs are all going to continue to fluctuate. You get older, you might have health concerns, different things are going to take place in your life, career changes, loss, grief, all sorts of things continue to transpire in life that are going to continue to call us into our relationship with ourselves, deepening that connection and recognizing how we're evolving and changing in this world. And the more we're able to do so, the more we're able to shape the relationships around us to be responsive to just who we are becoming. So I hope this helps. Continue to take your steps towards individuation. In the description box, if you're ever interested in a consultation to maybe want to potentially work together, there's going to be a link in there. Feel free to check out my website and etc. But I'll get at y'all next time. Peace.